Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is time for you to align with the highest and the best version of yourself, because it is time for us to be the creators of our reality, for us to step into our divine aligned energy, for us to conquer, to align, to step into the vibration of our unlimited abundance. You see, my name is Michelle Juanita Lamont, and I am here to help and guide you into the highest and the best version of yourself. You incarnated into this body here on the planet Earth so that you could be in alignment with the future, the past, and every single version of you, depending on your life path number, depending on your astrology, and depending on your ancestral energy, along with your cosmic currency. There is a good chance that you have avoided your windfall your entire life for a multitude of reasons. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, I want to welcome you. As I said, my name is Michelle Juanita Lamont. I am a manifestation master, author, speaker, one-on-one life coach, and spiritual therapist, as well as award-winning podcaster, might add 3 times award-winning podcaster, and now YouTube attempter. If you want to watch these podcasts all day long on YouTube, they are available now on YouTube. If you have not gone in and signed up for my newsletter, let me tell you something. This thing is always packed with incredible information. My team and I go over it and decide what to put in and what to leave out, because we know the heartbeat of our community. Yes, this is a community, a community of the misfit toys, a community of seekers, a community of manifestors, a community of foreign and near and somewhat spread apart energy. We are here to align ourselves with the highest and the best version, and your angels and your guides have guided you to Manifesting Miracles with Michelle J. Lamont, because it's time for you to open up the new chapters of you. It's time for you to see where you are heading towards. It's time for you to let go of your history. It's time for you to heal from that trauma. It's time for you to say, I start today in the circle of love. I start today to ignite and invoke the highest and the best version of myself. It starts right now and with this podcast. You see, each and every one of us came here with a light, a career path, a life path, a purpose, a dharma. We came here to call in and align with our team, but so many of us get lost in the journey. We get swept up with the tide. We get pulled out to sea, and then we don't know how the fuck to find the shore. And your angels and your guides said, no, 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 my beloved. There's this wild woman named Michelle Juanita Lamont. And through all of her chapters, as she unveils and reveals in each and every podcast, there was a lesson from each and every trauma and situation. I got stuck in the suffering. So I couldn't see the guides there to help me. I couldn't see the circle of light. I couldn't see my guides. I couldn't see my angels. I didn't know how to ignite them. I didn't know how to invoke them. I lost complete faith in everything, even God. But the good thing, and here's the best part, there's absolutely no judgment of anything. Nothing you have ever done in your past and nothing that you will ever do in your future can prevent you from being loved, supported, taken care of, and guided. So many times we are so willing to be so critical and so hard on ourselves. We're willing to see that we are attracting certain types of people into our lives, but we try to eliminate that person instead of dealing with our own energy. When we go in and unravel what has led us to this doorstep, we can then start to understand why it is that it took us this amount of time, earth time, to get here. You are loved, you are protected, you are guided. You are loved, you are protected, you are guided. Say yes. You are loved, you are protected, you are guided. Say yes. You are loved, you are protected, you are guided. Say yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And the reason I know is because I am on this journey with you. And throughout all the cosmos and all of the 165 billion solar systems, you landed in the Milky Way. And then you said, third rock from the sun, please, Earth. Now, why the hell would you choose this, you might ask? Why would I choose this skin color? Why would I choose this planet? Why would I choose this continent? Why would I choose this family ancestral energy? Because you knew the ride would be interesting, not easy. Have you ever just gotten something easily and just dismissed it? Like love or opportunities or situations or people or places? No one's judging you. But at this point in time, the universe is prepared and ready for you to unlock and open up doors for yourself that have been hidden through your ego. Not saying your vanity, there's a difference. Your ego, well, that's edging God out. EGO, edging God out. And when we're operating out of ego, we're operating out of fear. How can you be connected to your home team, your angels and your guides, your ancestors and your higher self, when you believe that you are the victim of this planet? I want you to go back and listen to my episode, Victim or Villain, How You Are Neither. In fact, one of my highest recommendations is that you treat these podcasts as audio tutorials. And if you go to the YouTube and watch that, they're visual tutorials. And get out a pen and paper and take notes of the different timelines and situations and words and phrases that are hitting you energetically. This is not about me being proud of who I am. This is me trying to interpret for you all of the things that have happened up until the time that you found this podcast, so that you can have a warning system into what is going on in the future. You have to tap in to the internal guidance system of you. You want to empower yourself even more by calling in your angels? You got to tune inside. You want to call in your guides? You got to tune inside. You want to get to your higher self? You're going to have to tune inside. You want to call in your cosmic cash and currency? You're going to have to get inside. You want to call in your ancestral energy? You're going to have to get inside. Say yes if you understand me. Say yes if you feel this power. Say yes if you are ready to evolve your soul. Because I am ready to help guide you. And each and every one of these 170 plus episodes have been listened by over 54 different countries and over 140,000 of you tuning in. And it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know why? Because like attracts like. And you, my beloved, are sharing this podcast with 5 people you know every single day. Say yes. I'm going to share this podcast with everybody I can, Michelle. Yes. I'm going to share this podcast with my family. Yes, I'm going to share this with my exes. Yes, I'm going to share this with my neighbors. Yes, I'm going to put this in my Facebook chats. Yes, I'm going to share this at the salon. Yes, I'm going to share this at the office. Yes, I'm going to share this at my friends group chat, my sorority. Yes, on my face group chat. Yes, because you are here to help raise the energy of the earth collective called humanity. And when people tune into this podcast, they are elevating their energy, they are opening up portals of abundance, and they're igniting their highest and best version because they are tired of living in the 3D reality that tells you you are broken, that tells you you are not worthy, that tells you you will never have this, that tells you you have to do something in order to earn this. You are enough, you are enough, you are enough. Say, yes, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough. I love you. I love you. I love you. If people can hate for no reason, then I can love for no reason. Now, on today's podcast, it's called Manifesting and the Power of Mother Nature, because I want to go over what I have learned as an evacuee, a refugee, for a few hours from my home in St. Pete, Florida. Now, if you're listening to this podcast and it's the year 2040 or 2030, and you're like, what are you talking about? Well, let me explain. And if you're listening from another galaxy, maybe you're in the Goldilocks galaxy, who knows? There's 165 billion. Think about that for 1 second. 165 billion Milky Way galaxies. And it takes, think about the math of this. It takes 100 million to make a billion. 100 million to make 1 billion. And your guides and your angels brought you to this podcast. Why? Because you are fucking powerful, because you are important. Your energy is needed. It is time for you to open up those chapters, to open up those doors, to find the hidden codes in this world, and to reveal the power that you have. You see, before living in Florida, I had lived in 3 different countries. I'd lived in Colombia, which is where my family is from, Colombia, the country. I've lived in Mexico for an entire year, in my 20s, working and living in Jalisco and Puerto Vallarta. Guadalajara, Guadalajara, Guadalajara. And the North America, the United States. So I've been to 19 countries. I've experienced quite a lot of different climates and energy. And one of the things that I thought I never understood when I would watch, let's say in the United States, and I don't know, around the world, Pakistan is having terrible floods right now, and Indonesia, and then there's terrible droughts happening in other parts of the world. So Mother Nature is really screaming to us here on the planet right now. Mother Nature is really having strong conversations. Are you listening? That's the question. And so when I remember back when in the United States, North America, there was a big hurricane that came into the United States called Katrina. And I remember sitting on, before I was woke, before I was awakened, before I was enlightened, before I was engaged, when I was angry, when I was, had a lot of suspicion of everybody. I was like, well, of course she has that. Look what she looks like. Of course they have this. They were born into this kind of energy, instead of saying, well, they chose better. They chose a different path than I did. They chose a different reality than I did coming to Earth. Before I took ownership of my responsibility and that this was part of my path and my placement, I would get angry about things. Instead of aligning with myself, I was aligning with the external energy of not enough. and that not enough energy is always going to be there. It's always going to be tempting you and trying to take you down the path of you're not enough. And so when I was in that state where I was so judgmental and such sitting on my high horse, and I saw Katrina coming in, one of the first things I said is, they've been talking about this hurricane for a week. Why didn't these people leave? How come there's hundreds of thousands of people dying and escaping and living in a football arena instead of going to Dallas? Because at the time I lived in Texas, and if you're not from the United States, Louisiana is very close to Texas, and so it was a lot of people from Louisiana and Texas. No. And so I was very judgmental. And it's kind of one of those things like, you really can't understand the power of something until you've experienced it. And so I had some humble pie this week. You see, I was in the direct path of the largest hurricane in US history. And we had plenty of time. We had days. We even had about maybe 8 days to prepare, to leave, to evacuate, to do whatever was needed. The state was setting up shelters and doing what it could, but everybody was saying it would be total devastation. You see, Mother Nature has a way of leveling things to the ground. And people don't understand that we have treated her like a side piece instead of the whole show. We have not dedicated our love to her the way that she has dedicated her love to us. We pollute her oceans. We disseminate her air. We chop down her trees, and we mutilate and torture her animals and insects. And people are doing what they can, but I'm not here to make you an environmentalist or a vegan or anything else. I'm simply here to guide you through the energy of the earth that you're living in the timeline that you're living in, and ask you to examine these situations on your own. So 4 days before the Hurricane Ian was supposed to annihilate, decimate St. Pete and Tampa, we started preparing. We started putting up our, that's called shutters. These are things that there's screws on the outside of the doors. And I just moved to Florida, so I don't really know all of these things. I'm just experiencing it as an outsider coming in. And so there's screws on the walls, and you shutter in, and you put shutter windows up. Hey Wayne, I'm recording. There you go. And then you have to get all these, because of this immense hurricane, we had to evacuate and leave, and with just a couple of suitcases. Now you could have taken all the things you wanted, of course. I could have got a U-Haul, and I could have taken everything out of my home and loaded it up and put it in storage. I genuinely felt safe, and I don't know how to explain it. And so I started telling my story on TikTok. And over a 3-day, and if you don't know what TikTok is, because maybe TikTok isn't around, or you're listening to this in a timeline where social media is no longer, or perhaps you're from a country where you don't have access to something called TikTok. It's a social media platform that has an app, and you go in and you open up the app, and then you just get connected to people, just like anything else. It's like any other sort of social media platform, except this one has this design thing that's very addictive, the way that they create these stories and the way that they feed them to you one after another, and how long they happen and how they happen. And anyway, so on TikTok, I decided to tell my story through the stories that I was telling on Instagram stories and just continue sharing the stories there. And over the 3-day period that this happened, I had close to, I think it was like 350,000 people view my stories. And over and over and over again, I got the same comments. And so I wanted to share some of that with you guys today and kind of tell you about Mother Nature and manifesting and what I've learned from this experience. And I apologize if this goes a little bit long because this is a personal experience. It might. So I'm packed up. We've shuttered the house. We've pulled everything inside. I went out. I made a video where I go out to my dock, and I live on the canal that feeds into the Gulf of Mexico, which is part of the Atlantic Ocean. So the ocean that feeds into the Gulf, that feeds into my backyard, is always full of dolphins and stingrays and manatees, and so every day it's like I live on the ocean with just a little barrier between me and the Gulf. My waterway is the last waterway out into the larger area that then feeds out into obviously the bigger barrier that feeds out into the Gulf, that feeds out into the ocean and all the other oceans. So this is a once in a lifetime storm. So we're doing everything we can. And at this point, we're moving as fast as we can. And I had made a reservation, as all my neighbors had, for a hotel that was dog friendly for the hurricane was supposed to hit on Wednesday. So I had made it from Sunday to Saturday. And on Saturday, all the forecasters had said, oh, it's definitely not even going to be anything to worry about until Wednesday at 2 a.m. Oh, I'm like, well, why would I leave my nice, comfortable home so early and pay this extra hotel fees if I don't have to? And I continued to make videos and show the process of, taking in all of the stuff that you make your home, because when you live in a climate like Florida, outdoors is basically where you live the majority of the time. You're always have your doors open and you're, sitting outside. The weather is so perfect. And I live on, with water behind me. So there's always something, a boat going by or a kayaker or a dolphin or something. So you're very much part of Mother Nature, which it's been the biggest honor of my life living here. And I changed my hotel reservation to check in on Tuesday. And so on Monday, everybody around me, and this is the same thing that probably happened in Louisiana with Katrina and all the other storms that hit here and probably all around the world. This is just my experience. Even so, my makeup artist his Haitian. She was born and raised. She was born in the Bahamas. I don't remember where. Maybe she's not Haitian. I'm sorry. And then they moved here, and they're not scared of hurricanes. You know what I mean? Her and her family are not. And so my makeup artist, because we were shooting YouTubes and making reels and all that sort of thing, came and I was like, should we cancel for Monday? Because the hurricane's supposed to come on Tuesday and we're supposed to make 4 weeks worth of content that day. And she's like, no, absolutely not. We don't have anything to be worried about. Everything is, copacetic. Don't get intimidated by the news. Okay. My neighbors said the same thing. My Floridian friends said the same thing. The weather's saying the same thing. So we do our everything's boarded up and shuttered to the best of my ability. I mean, I don't really know enough to know how much I need to bring in. I did learn a lot. Yes, I did. And then we film everything and it starts to get kind of rainy and she leaves. And by about 3 o'clock, my entire street is flooded. And where the house I live in right now is the highest point of the street. And the water is coming up my yard. And I have a curved driveway and up into my driveway. And I call the hotel and I say, hi, I'd like to change my reservation. And she said, have you paid for your reservation? Now, I just gave my credit card to reserve it. And I said, I don't know. I gave you a credit card, it's Amex. Here's this info. And she said, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if we even have room for you for your regular reservation. Doesn't look like we've processed the card. You may want to start calling around to other hotels. And I said, no, 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 I've had this reservation since Wednesday of last week. You need to check it again. So she checked it again. She goes, yes, your card was charged. But we cannot let you into the hotel until 3 o'clock tomorrow. Now, let me tell you something. I'm a risk taker. And I don't know if you would even call it a risk, because I believe so strongly in my guides. I believe so strongly in my ability to intuitively understand what they're sending me and telling me, that that's why I'm able to manifest miracles in the way that I do, because I trust my internal guidance system. I meditate every single day. I intuitively look into the future. I look through my third eye. I work with my crystals. I work with my candles. I work with my angels. You have to understand, you and God are not separate. And so that intuitive knowing is always that gut feeling. It's always right. Say, yes, I understand. And so if we as humans like to speak to the creator energy within ourselves, we pray. Well, how do you think internal guidance talks back? Intuition. So now I'm starting to get a little bit panicked, because although I'm willing to take a risk that a lot of people are not, and that's why I think I have a lot of the things that I have, because I do things with faith and not fear, is that I put my dogs in this situation. And that was something very hard to handle. So it's now 7 o'clock and the storm is coming sooner, and it's barreling down, and it looks like it's coming in even stronger and closer to my port. And I see it hurling towards my backyard, literally hurling towards my backyard. And now I get kind of upset. I'm mad at myself because I put my babies in danger. I could have left. I could have left. That's what I kept saying to myself. And then I said, hold on, hold on. You can only worship two ways, Michelle: fear or faith, fear or faith, fear or faith, fear or faith, fear or faith. Which are you calling in? And as the tears streamed down my face, and I text my nieces where the will was, what the combination to my passwords were, and crazy manic things as the water started rising and rising and rising, I realized that I was diving deep into fear. So I turned off my phone and I turned on the TV and I put it on YouTube to 525 megahertz, a God frequency. And I breathed in abundance and I breathed out fear. And I breathed in, I'm awakened to my highest and best version in this moment. I release fear. I awaken to my highest and best version at this moment. I awaken to my highest and best version at this moment. I release fear. And with each in and each out breath, this vibration took over. And I was able to calm myself down. And I look outside about an hour later, and the water's going down my driveway and down my driveway and down my driveway and into my street. Unbeknownst to me, a storm gutter had flooded. It wasn't the actual hurricane itself. Now on TikTok, I kept getting all of these messages. Why didn't you leave earlier? Why did you stay? Are you leaving your dogs behind? What? I wouldn't even get on a flight to go out of town because my dogs had to go in cargo because there was no more seats left to buy for them. Absolutely, there's no way I would ever leave without my babies. But I understand that this is very judgmental, because when I saw Hurricane Katrina and dogs drowning and suffering, I'm like, why wouldn't they buy life jackets for their dogs? That was the first thing I bought for mine. But I'm sitting in a place where I've been able to manifest financial stability for a number of years. And that some people might call it, wealth, but I do not. I call it financial stability because everything needs to be stable. You don't want something too high and something too low. Now, how are you going to learn from this story? Well, I'm here to tell you that I learned that I was very judgmental when I saw people not evacuating, because what happens is you don't really know where these storms are going. And there's 5 or 6 a year. And they wait until like 10 hours, 8 hours sometimes before to evacuate, like what happened here in Florida. I live in the state called Florida in North America, United States. And in our state, in the state that I live in currently, they did not give these level 4 level evacuations, zone A, zone B. That means you're in the worst situation possible. A is get the fuck out. B is you better be glad you're not A. And I always thought should be like A to F. F is like you're fucked to get the F out, and A is awesome. You're okay. But it's not. And so I was in zone A. And so from zone A, I had a week because they all thought it was coming to the Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete area. And it goes just below us to Fort Myers and Sarasota, and it devastates and annihilates some of the poorest and the hardest hit counties along with the beach and coastal areas. But these people only had like a 10-hour warning. We had days, and I didn't leave. Days. I have the financial means. I had the time, and I have the physical ability to remove myself, and I didn't do it. And these people were given less than 10 hours. I'm not saying I'm trying to find blame in the reporting agencies, because every single person in the weather business said Tampa, 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 Tampa. And just a few hours. I mean, I remember checking into the hotel on Tuesday, crying, like happiness in that hotel room, fleeing one of my favorite places I've ever been in to a little old dinky hotel room because it was not in a flood zone, and it had hurricane winds up to 150 miles an hour sustained. And it was 6 miles from any part of the ocean inside my city. Now I'm surrounded by water, but it is what it is. And so these people who are in wheelchairs and have children and have pets and probably don't have a lot of financial means, well, they're devastated. They're annihilated, and they're not getting the support, the water, the food that they need right now. And you could be sitting there judging them, saying, why didn't you leave? And I got that on TikTok quite a bit. And I was like, dude, they told me that I didn't have to even worry about this till Wednesday. I was scheduled to check in Tuesday at noon. But Monday, I thought the hurricane was coming early and panicked, and then calmed myself down through meditation and prayer, and then find out that it's only a storm drain. And yes, the water was coming in, but it should have normally just gone into the storm drain, dumped into the canal, that then dumped into the Gulf, which is part of the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. But it did not. And so I did not know, and can only imagine what the people who are in these other cities who had almost no time. I mean, just to get your house ready is hours and hours and hours. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about that when I went out into the canal, I made a video on TikTok and I said, God, take this storm out to sea away from me. Take this storm out to sea and away from me. Take the storm out to sea and away from me. And the storm, and literally you can see on the news, all of the water in the Bay of Tampa was removed and taken. Now, I am not saying I did that. Absolutely not. No fucking way. A lot of people on TikTok did. I am not. What I am saying is, you can have all of the best intentions in the world, but if you try to fight Mother Nature, you will always lose. In life, you can have all the intentions in the world, but if you fight your ego, you will always lose. You have to be humble. You have to be steadfast. You have to be willing to hear the cries of the universe. And in my situation, it came in the form of a hurricane. And I encourage you to donate to the Red Cross, and I encourage you to volunteer, and I encourage you to stop being judgmental about these situations, because you've never been in that situation, and neither had I. And I have to say, I'm sorry to the universe for looking at those people from before and having a critical thought process instead of having an open heart. And this has taught me how to be humble and how to humble myself. See, Mother Nature wants us to know that she is listening. Now, Deepak Chopra has a great book, The 7 Signs of the Universe. And in this book, he talks about how if you can see that Mother Nature takes care of its own, the plants and the trees and the birds and the bees, they don't care what the weather is going to be. They don't need to know about recycling. They don't care about who's in office. They don't care about taxes or inflation, but they shed, they grow, and everything in their world is 100% taken care of, and they are self-sufficient. We come in and destroy that ecosystem. We come in and destroy that plan. And if a blade of grass is 100% protected, what makes you think you're not? What makes you think that if you are not as protected as a leaf or a tree or a bird or a bee, you have been listening to the wrong side of energy? You have been listening to the wrong side of the universe. There's no time to have Panic at the Disco. You need to sit in and realize that you have to lean into your faith and walk away from the fear. The fear is there to motivate you to humble yourself and to learn a lesson. Trauma is here to shake you up so you can take away a lesson. Doubt and insecurity are here to shore up your faith. Earth is speaking to us. The animals are speaking to us. The environment is speaking to us. Are you listening? You are so protected that the universal energy that created 165 billion universes and millions and billions of planets, and I'm sure a lot of other life forms, has decided to bring you to the third rock from the sun, incarnate you in a planet, and put you in a meat sack called you, with a soul and a whole team guiding you. You have the same guidance system that creates hurricanes, tornadoes, valleys, planets, solar systems, gravity. You are misunderstanding energy. You can harness that within yourself. God is experiencing universal energy through your experience. Trust and believe that when you feel worthy to receive the energy, it will guide you to higher and safer ground. The power of Mother Nature can be harnessed within you when you meditate, when you forgive, when you let go, and you say, I'm going to fucking fail forward. I'm going to live the highest and best version of myself. And I want you to go in and listen to one of these podcasts each and every single day. I want you to live the highest and best version of yourself each and every day. And I want you to share this with 5 people. And I want you to reflect on how much you are loved and how much you're protected. I want you to stop being so judgmental on yourself and of others. And that 100% goes for me. You see, we are all conduits of energy. And I'm putting out into the universe today humility. I'm putting out into the universe today learning, open, obedience, love, and forgiveness. And I'm inviting you to join me so that you can be a creator of your reality and manifest your miracles as well. I love you and you're worth it. I love you and I honor you. I love you and I know that you're here. And thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You don't understand how much this means to me that all of you are living a higher version of yourself. I am here on bended knee saying to you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Please, in any way that you can, release something today. Release something from your internal guidance system. Release something in your fear. Release something in your doubt. Release something in your history that tells you you are not enough. You were born worthy, baby, and I love you. All right, producers, it's time to wrap up. So please go into iTunes and write a review. I beg of you, it helps so much. Go on to Spotify and right there where the title is, give me 5 stars, right there, you can see it to the left. Then you can tap those 3 little buttons and hit share, 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 and share this across the metaverse, share this across the universe, share this in every canal, in every office, in every door, in every salon, in every spa, in every situation that you can. And raise the vibration of the planet, raise the vibration of our existence here, and show creator energy that you are loved and that you know it and that you are worthy. Say, yes, I will share this. Yes, I will share this. Yes, I will. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. Producers, it is time to cue the music. All right, now it is. You have been listening to Manifesting Miracles with Michelle Juanita Lamont, making manifesting a snap. Now it's time for you to go out and align yourself with the highest and the best version of you today. Hey!